Hey, good morning, church. I pray all is well with you. I want to continue this study in Hebrews. We're in Hebrews chapter 9. And I like what Brother Ron said yesterday in his video about the book of Hebrews and how really Christ is our high priest. And that's what's being driven home in the book of Hebrews. It really is, has been stated in previous videos and in the book, that this is all about being greater, and that the as Christ is our high priest, it is much greater than the high priest of old and the old covenant. The same theme continues in chapter 9. Now I want us to do something a little bit different. I want you to start by reading verse number 22. And so let's start in verse number 22, and it says, "And according to the law, most all things are purified with blood, and without shedding of blood, there is no remission." There is no remission of sin, no forgiveness of sin without the shedding of blood. Now that's important as you read chapter 9, because he starts off at the very beginning talking about the old covenant and how they went through this kind of the ceremonies of the blood and the killing of the animals and what that looked like. And then he then turns to Christ. And as you read through here, I want you to notice in verse number 12, he says, not with the, he's talking about now the new covenant. He says, not with the blood of goats and calves, but with his own blood, he entered the most holy place. You see, he had just described the holies of holies and how they would go in and make that sacrifice. And the writer of Hebrews points out that, hey, Christ, with his own blood, not the blood of goats or the blood of calves, he went with his own blood. And then he goes on in verse number 14, how much more shall the blood of Christ forgive us? If you could be forgiven from your sin from the blood of a goat, then how much more or how much greater is the blood of Christ? And that's what he describes here. And he says that Christ went in there without a blemish, with no sin. And in fact, he goes on to say there in verse number 15 that Christ, because he made that ultimate sacrifice and that he was the high priest that gave his own blood, that he is the mediator. And so it is Christ is the mediator, the joiner between a sinful man and a holy God. And Christ is the one that bridges that gap. And it's because of his blood. Now, there is so much in Hebrews chapter 9. I encourage you to really take your time, dive deep into what it talks about. And then let's talk just a minute about verse number 27. And verse 27 says, "It is appointed for men once to die, but after this, the judgment." Folks, every one of us are going to meet judgment someday. Every one of us are going to stand before a holy God. And I pray that you're living a life that is pleasing unto him, that you're walking according to the calling that he has laid upon your life, that you are separated from sin, living that pure life that he has called us to. Because there will be a day when we'll all stand there and we will be judged. Now, sinners or lost people will be judged for their sin. Saved people will be judged for their works. And I pray that you are living that way. He goes on to say in the very last verse, "To those who eagerly wait for him, he will appear a second time." Oh, folks, Jesus is coming back. He could be any time. And I pray that you're ready for that. If you're not, please reach out to me. Say that you want to talk to me about what it means to stand before a holy God. I'd love to visit with you about that, because someday you will stand there. Enjoy Hebrews chapter 9. Look forward to seeing you Sunday. Hey, don't forget, Sunday evening, we will also have our candlelight service where we offer to the Lottie Moon Christmas offering. It's going to be a great time of fellowship. See you Sunday morning at 10:30. May God bless. Take care.